All right, are you ready to make a couple of loaves of easy bake white bread? We need 6 ingredients is all it takes, and we're going to make 2 full loaves. We need 3 cups of warm water, 6 cups of flour, a quarter cup of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, 1 tablespoon of salt, and a third cup of oil. That water is lukewarm out of the tap. Just got to dissolve the yeast and the sugar. We got to stir this up in this warm water to get the yeast activated. Make sure it all gets in there. You'll see soon that I will use a rubber spatula to make sure that the yeast that's floating on top of the water gets off the edge of the bowl and gets completely dissolved. It's key to get it all in there and to get it all dissolved so it can activate. That's what makes this thing rise and makes it so easy to do. So I'm scraping it down, getting it all in that water. Now, while I was doing this, my wife was baking an apple pie, so I had a hard time concentrating because the kitchen smelled so good of the apple pie. I can't bake her apple pie. I'm scared. But it's good. I should make a video of her making that apple pie. It's delicious. So here we go. Getting it all in there, and now we have to let that yeast activate, and we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. Okay, it sat for 10 minutes. My, how time flies when you're cooking, right? So now I have to add the other ingredients. I'm going to start with the oil. Now the salt. And the flour. Now it's kind of hard to get all that flour in there while it's running, and I'll make a little bit of a mess, but you know, that's what kitchens are for, right? And like I said, there's no kneading necessary in this recipe. It's super simple. Anyone can bake it. The oven is going to be preheated through 375. Coincidentally, that's what my wife is baking the pie at, so that works out real well. And it'll bake 25 to 30 minutes. You're going to be checking that with a toothpick or what have you to make sure it's done. And of course, you want to make sure everything is thoroughly mixed. All these ingredients are key, and you got to have them mixed in. Now, after this is done, of course, I'm going to get all that dough out of there. And the recipe says to leave your dough slightly sticky. Some recipes make it so it has so much flour in it, it doesn't stick to your hands or anything. But in this case, we want to have our dough slightly sticky. I'll also note this was the first time I made this bread. This was a recipe I got off researching off the internet, and I thought, wow, this is simple enough. I could do this, and I can make a YouTube video off of it. This was a first take. I'd never made this recipe before. Probably make it better and better each time, but it turns out really good. The loaf of bread was gone by the end of this day. I made this in the morning. We had sandwiches for lunch, and had some bread and butter for dinner and such. So it didn't even make it through the day for the first loaf. And the other one I froze. I had a hard time getting all the dough off this whisk, and then my smart, beautiful wife recommended that I use the paddle that she got with her mixer. So that's what I'm going to change into here, and it does work way better. I know they do make a bread hook. This was kind of an impromptu idea, and the paddle worked great. I don't think you really need a bread hook. My wife hands me the paddle and I slap that on there. And away we go. Works way better than that whisk. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, it doesn't take long. Everything's gotten thoroughly mixed. And now it's time to pull it out. And I'm going to put it all in a bowl and cover it with a towel, a moist towel, and allow it to sit about an hour. And in that time, this dough is going to double in size as that yeast, basically it cooks. You know, it's doing its bacterial thing or fungus thing and causing this bread to rise. And like I said, that takes about an hour. So I just, go watch TV for an hour or some football or something and come back and get ready to throw it into the pans. Okay, here's the dough sitting in the glass bowl. It doesn't have to be glass, just coincidence here. And I take a kitchen towel that's slightly damp and just lay it over there. And I don't know why slightly damp. I assume it's so it doesn't dry out as it's rising or such, but that's what it said to do, so that's what I'm doing. So I've got two 9-inch loaf pans. These are non-stick. I just bought these. I should have gotten a discount for that one on the right with a dent, but I didn't see that until I got home. Suckers got me. Anyway, so I'm a butter guy. So I use butter to lube up the sides and the bottom of the pan. And of course, I just use a paper towel to spread that around, nice thin layer. I don't know if I can taste the butter or not, but it sure sounds good to me. I do put butter on the top of the bread. I should probably do an egg wash to make it more browner. Browner's not even a word, but to make it more brown, but I didn't. I have a buddy that made a YouTube video on how to make bread. His name's Willie Pete on YouTube, and he uses an egg wash, and his bread looks a little bit better than mine does coming out. I don't know if there's a taste difference or not, but I will use the egg wash the next time and see how that works out. But check out Willie Pete's video, and I'll throw a link on there. It's a great bread video. All right, our dough is doubled in size, still slightly sticky, and we're gonna throw it in the pans. I just basically roll it up in my hands and make a log out of it and put one log in each pan. As you can see right there, it just lays in there nice and flat. And we're going to throw it in the oven, like I said, 375 for 25 minutes. And time does fly by because it's been 25 minutes already, and it is ready. Looks good right there, and you can see it's a little bit brown on top, but if I used an egg wash, I'd probably have that nice glossy look. I should have taken Pete's advice and done it that way, but there's always next time. And like I said, this was my first take, and it is wonderful tasting bread. We got to let them cool before I can get them out of the pans. I tried at this point, but it was just too hot to touch. Oh, here we are. Got them out. That butter sure works good. Not to mention the Teflon coating, but it comes right out. And there we go. Didn't cut very well because of the wire drying racks, but when I put it on a flat surface, it cut just fine with my dull miracle blade. It's still super hot. I can barely touch it. You can actually see some of the steam roll off of it. But does not look good. Here's the ultimate test. See if this bread is worth making again or not. My beautiful daughter Haley. I think that look says it all. And like always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to click subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.